Hey guys, it's Joe again with the 5 Awesome Freshmen. It's Thursday. Hope you're having a good Thursday. The first thing I'm going to talk about today, and also the only thing I'm going to talk about today, is interviewing, especially for scholarships. It's a big part of the whole college application process too, but I never actually interviewed at any of my schools, which I probably should have done. But I did interview for a couple scholarships, so I figured I'd give you some tips on that. My first piece of advice for interviewing for scholarships is something that comes up a lot in our blog. It's, just be yourself. It's really important. Unless, you're a drug dealer or, a prostitute, in which case I wouldn't recommend being yourself. First I'd recommend not being a drug dealer or a prostitute, and then I would recommend maybe, you know, pretending you weren't a drug dealer or a prostitute, at least for the interview. And then after the interview, I would suggest, correcting your life problems. And then the whole college thing can come. Life problems are problems. My second piece of advice is when you're interviewing, make sure you're looking someone in the eye when you're talking to them, because when you're not looking at someone in the eye like I'm doing right now, it's really distracting first off, and then also people, it kind of freaks people out. At least it freaks me out. I like it when people make eye contact. It makes me, know that they're, paying attention and stuff. So that's an important thing to do too. Another great thing you should do with scholarship interviews, or interviews in general, is, brag about yourself. That's sort of what the interview's for, so you can tell them things that you weren't able to tell them in, your straight application. So, if you are, a world champion hot dog eater, but you didn't have time to put that in your application, then you should totally tell them that in the interview. Because being a world championship hot dog eater would be, really, really fucking awesome. Another thing is that when you're interviewing, especially if it's, for a panel, which is what I had to do when I was interviewing for scholarships, answer parts of your question looking at each individual person, just so that you're not only paying attention to one person. Just spread your attention. And when you're interviewing, if one of the interviewers starts to cry, it's usually a good sign. Get those tears of joy or empathy. Those are great. Tears of being really disappointed in you, or tears of anger, those are generally not so good. So some tears are good, but if you don't, if they're crying because you committed a genocide, that's not what you want. If they're crying because you went to a place where a genocide was committed and helped people, you're in the good. I'd also like to apologize because I'm all kinds of clogged up in my nose area, and so it makes my voice sound kind of funny. So I'm going to go ahead and apologize for that. Well, I guess that's about all I have for today, at least to keep it sort of to a short video as opposed to a saga. So yeah, just be yourself when you go to interviews. Make sure you're using eye contact, being respectful, brag about yourself. That's sort of what it's for. And also, go for tears. You want to really sob stories? Cha-ching. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great Thursday, and Lisa, see you tomorrow. Oh yeah, and I have to write a chemistry paper now, which totally sucks.